All right, let's jump right in. Have you ever felt like life isn't just a straight line from A to B? What if it's more like a series of expanding circles? Or maybe a bunch of interwoven threads? Well, that's the heart of a really beautiful philosophy from Kesari Babu that we're going to get into today. It's this powerful way of looking at our relationship with, well, everything and everyone around us. So it all really boils down to this one powerful idea. Just think about it for a second. Invisible strings of interdependence. It's this idea that nothing, and I mean no one, truly exists in a vacuum. We're all connected. And this concept, this interdependence, is going to be the central thread we follow through this whole explainer. But okay, that immediately brings up a huge question, doesn't it? I mean, if we're all connected by these invisible strings, then why do so many of us feel so alone sometimes? It's a really common and, yeah, painful experience. And that paradox, that question, is exactly what we're going to try to unpack here. So where does that feeling of being alone even come from? Well, according to this philosophy, it all starts with this core misunderstanding we all have. It's this myth that we're supposed to be totally independent, that we're just these separate little islands navigating the world all on our own. And here's the really cool part. This isn't just some, flowery philosophical idea. It's actually backed up by social science. There's something called interdependence theory, and it basically says our lives are a direct result of our interactions. What happens to you is shaped by what other people do. So this connection, it's not just poetry. It's a real, measurable social reality. So what this really calls for is a huge shift in how we see the world. We tend to operate in this individualistic, kind of fragmented way. But the perspective we're talking about here is totally different. It's holistic, it's interdependent. Think of it like this. It's a difference between thinking your health is just your problem and realizing, hey, you can't be a healthy person living on a sick planet. It's all connected. Okay, so to really help us visualize all this, the philosophy gives us two really powerful metaphors. We're going to start with the first one, the circle. And you know what? This isn't some brand new idea. Way back, like over 150 years ago, the philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson was talking about this exact same metaphor. He saw life as this endless series of self-evolving circles, where each new, bigger circle represents our own growth and understanding. So the way this philosophy maps it out is it's a beautiful expansion. It all starts with the self, right? That's the core. From there, our first circle widens to include our family. Then it grows again to our community, our friends, our coworkers. And finally, it expands to its widest point, embracing the entire world, all of humanity, and nature itself. Each circle just builds right on top of the last one. Okay, but circles are just the beginning. To really capture the richness, the messiness and complexity of our relationships, there's an even more powerful metaphor we need to look at, the tapestry. I want you to picture your life as this huge, intricate tapestry. Every single relationship you've ever had is a unique thread. Some threads are going to be bold and right in the center, and others are more subtle, kind of in the background. But here's the thing. Every single one of them is essential to the final picture of who you are. And this is where the tapestry metaphor gets really, really good. Because it acknowledges all the different kinds of connections we have, right? Some threads just enter gently like a breeze, and they're gone. Others, they twine themselves right into our hearts. And some, they become these cherished parts of who we are. Of course, some also fade away, like distant echoes. The key is, they're all part of the pattern. Now, all of this leads us to what is probably the most challenging part of this philosophy, but I think it's also the most liberating. And it's this: accepting that our connections, well, they aren't meant to last forever. Yeah, that's a hard truth, I know, but getting this is absolutely key. You can't force anyone to stay in your life forever. And the idea that you're somehow solely responsible for someone else's existence, that's just an illusion. Okay, so how in the world do we cope with that without just feeling anxious all the time? Well, psychology actually has a really powerful tool for this. It's called emotional permanence. Basically, it's the ability to trust that a connection still exists, that it still matters, even when that person isn't physically right there in front of you. It's a huge shift from needing constant presence to just having faith in the bond itself. And that shift leads to the ultimate payoff, really. The real beauty of any connection is found the moment we stop trying to own it. The value isn't in making it last forever. The value is in being present for it right now. It's this incredible shift from possession to just pure appreciation. And this all brings us to a really practical piece of wisdom. You have to remember, every single person in your life is the center of their own tapestry. They have their own circles of support. And respecting that they have a whole, full life outside of you, that's not a threat. That's actually the highest form of love. Honoring their boundaries, that's an act of humility, and it's what creates a true connection. Okay, so if everything is always changing and all our connections are impermanent, where do we find any stability? Where's the anchor in all this? Well, this brings us right back to the answer to that first question we asked. Why do we feel so alone? Because here it is. This is the ultimate insight. Through every friendship, every heartbreak, every single beginning, and every end, one thread remains constant from start to finish. And that thread is you. You are the one constant companion who witnesses it all. You're the one who carries the lessons and the memories from every single thread that has ever been woven into your life. And when you truly embrace that idea, you get two incredible gifts. The first one is freedom. Freedom from that exhausting burden of trying to control what other people do. And the second gift is peace. A deep, centering kind of peace that comes from accepting that you're both a player in the game and the ultimate observer of your own life. So we're going to end with this thought. You're not just a passive thread in someone else's tapestry. No. You are the constant weaver of your own. You're the one who witnesses the circles expand and contract. You feel all the different threads as they come and go. So knowing that you're the weaver, what kind of life, what kind of beautiful, complex tapestry are you going to create?